So during this part of the presentation, you guys are actually going to get to hear from my students and how, why personalized learning, why is it important, and really how it impacted them as learners. It is about a 17-minute long video. It's a little bit longer than a lot of the other ones, but I do feel like it was really important to get their perspective. These students really stepped up last year and helped kind of design the program. This is really their program, and I'm just the one sharing it because they are the ones that made the decision of how class should look. All right, everyone, I have some of my former students on with me, and they are going to talk to you guys about the why behind personalized learning. So today I have Macy, Michaela, who goes by MK, and Caitlin here to talk to you guys. All right, guys, go ahead.
Well, I think that
why. Start with the why. Why is personalized learning, like, why did you guys like it?
I liked personalized learning because it was way easier, and it made the learning honestly more interesting, and I feel like I learned more and in a better way that way.
I liked it because I got to work at my own pace and in the way that I learned best.
Yeah, I also like personalized learning because I could also work at my own pace, but I could also, the due dates were flexible, so if I didn't have like enough time to do something, because I'm actually really slow at working, so I could like turn in work, like late work and stuff.
So what did, like, when you guys came into my class, and I know it's been a long time, it's been, since March, what did it look like when we were coming into class? Like, how did I introduce things? Did you guys have to sit and listen, et cetera, et cetera? So if you guys want to keep taking turns, that's fine, and we'll just go in a circle, and then I'll ask another question.
Okay, well, I think that from what I remember, because it has been a long time, that most of the time, for the most part, everyone was kind of quiet. We went to the seats and we could work in groups or by ourselves. It was very flexible like that. And also I liked it because you kind of said, like, you said that we needed to get this done by this, but like only on one day. You usually were like, this is what we need to do on Monday by this time. And then like the next week we had to turn it in, and it was like very flexible like that. And that's,
Caitlin, do you want to add to that?
When I first walked into Miss Weingarten's room, it was kind of messy, so I was like, what is going on? But as throughout the year, it like, I don't know why, but it helped me because when you walk in, there's a bunch of desks, and you think there's going to be assigned seating, but there wasn't. You could sit anywhere, work with anyone, work by yourself even. And I thought it was actually really good because you could basically, like, you could also like sit on the floor if you wanted to. You could sit outside of the classroom to get better, a better environment. So yeah.
Having the freedom did make it easier because I felt like my work was better the more freedom I had and the more flexibility I had, because it feels different. It really is in some way. It just is.
You can't learn how to be like responsible if you like never have a chance to try to be responsible. And yeah, back to the room, I have to agree, it was definitely messy. Like, I like that because it made us feel like less stressed out about everything. It felt more like relaxed.
Probably partially because you guys can relate to that. Hopefully you guys are a little bit more organized than me at times. Okay, so we talked a little bit about like responsibility and how me kind of forcing that responsibility on you was probably a good thing in many ways. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to kind of change our direction here, grades versus understanding, which I did talk to you guys about in our last meet, kind of getting an idea of where you all felt it was. So did you guys feel like, honestly, like I cared about what grade you got? I'm going to be real about it. Did you feel like I cared about your grade, or did I really just want the understanding? I'm going to let you guys talk now.
I felt like you really just wanted to, I feel like you didn't really care about the grades. You just wanted us to understand more about the work, because my reasoning is that if you have the grades, you're, not to be offensive, but you're kind of like a goody two-shoe if you have like really good grades. But that's also because you like study a lot, but sometimes you kind of just guess. But if you don't get like good grades, you don't have a good understanding and you need help. But sometimes you don't ask for that. But then again, the understanding is definitely more important than grades, I feel like.
I also feel like you care more about the understanding. Of course, if we had like a F or a U, you would definitely push us a little harder to get a better grade so we didn't fail, even though we might have understood it. Because you can understand something and fail it, and you cannot understand something and get a good grade. I feel like personalized learning kind of wrapped around the understanding a lot more in that way. That's why I feel like you kind of cared about it, because it just, that's really the focus of personalized learning.
You cared about the grade, but you did care about the understanding more, because that's more important than the grade, in my opinion, at least. Because if you like just had good grades, but you didn't understand anything that you were learning, then like in the future, you'll be behind people who already understood what we were learning.
So do you guys feel like with that, because I agree, like I wanted you guys to have good grades, your parents want you to have good grades, but really the understanding is kind of where I want you to be. So with me focused a lot more on understanding the topic as opposed to grades, did that help lessen anxiety? So a lot of kids your age, so you guys are, well, what, 12, 13 now, but at the time we're somewhere between 10 and 11 and 12. A lot of kids your age have a lot of test anxiety and just a lot of anxiety about school altogether. It's hard to start at a new school. Do you feel like that program that we had in our classroom last year helped ease some of that anxiety? Everyone still had some, but did it help ease some of it, and how?
Yes.
I felt like, go ahead, Caitlin.
Yes, I think so, because we did have like a lot of work, but then that made it to where like if you got a bad grade on like one piece, then the rest of it could bring it up as long as you're like paying attention. You'll still probably get a good grade. And it was just like less stressful, because grades are very stressful. And yeah.
I feel like you not caring about grades more than understanding, I feel like that definitely did loosen the tension of anxiety for tests and stuff like that, because tests are already worse enough, because you have to have a good grade unless your parents are gonna kind of get mad at you. But then again, like, because the test is very like stressful, then you have another thing coming for you, which is the grades on that test. You just want to get the best score possible. But like with Miss Weingarten and what we did last year, I feel like there was definitely less tension and anxiety in the classroom.
I really liked how it was. It made it really easy, because I know that transferring schools is hard. I've moved a bunch, but I feel like it made it way easier, because I was always excited for her class. She was one of the end of the day classes. So I tried hard in my first 2 classes, and then my third class was her class because I was just always excited for it. And it kind of was more chill, and science has always been my favorite subject, so that also made it easier. But the personalized learning aspect really, when it came in, because the beginning of the year it was kind of like that, but then the end of the year it was 100% like personalized learning, because I feel like a school without personalized learning is almost like a factory, not a factory, but like everyone's taught the same way and like exactly the same to be not the same people in the end, but with the same thing. But personalized learning, it gives you more freedom, like we've said multiple times, but it also like doesn't necessarily teach everyone the same. It teaches them their own way, if that makes sense.
It for sure does. So we're going to transition one more time. So you guys are in 7th grade now, so I'm not your current teacher. You guys actually are on different teams. So I believe Macy and Caitlin are on one team, and then MK is on another. So there are other teachers in the building who use personalized learning, not quite to the extent that I do. But I do know like Macy and Caitlin, your all's language arts teacher uses it a little bit. I don't know if anyone on your team, MK, does. So how do you feel like, and you guys can be very specific about this or just general, how do you feel like my class helped prepare you for 7th grade, even though your teachers are not doing the same thing that I did?
I feel like that helped me get prepared for 7th grade, because in 6th grade when it came to your class, there was like I feel like since like even though there were due dates, the due dates were flexible. Even though they were flexible, I felt like everybody and me wanted to get them done like as soon as possible and move on. So then that kind of helped me come to 7th grade, especially with this COVID thing happening, getting all those, even though it's technology based right now, basically, it's still like it's I don't know how to say, but it's still like very big for you to get your work put it in time, and I feel like 6th grade helped me like do it like right away and stuff.
Let me add to that really quick and you guys can add this to your answers too. So a lot of people across the entire world have had to go into digital learning, right? And I am telling you from my own experience. So like we started this year out. I actually am in 8th grade now, right? And I think that you guys, based off of what I saw at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, were handling NTI better. So I wanted to interrupt because that's perfect. And it just made me think like, so not only how did my class prepare you for 7th grade, but also how has it helped you with NTI, with our non-traditional instruction where we're doing everything virtual? So you can add that in there too.
Well, so you can go, Caitlin.
You can go, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I feel like COVID is a lot like personalized learning because we have the due dates, but we can do it anytime in between the due dates. We can do it as long as we get it done by then. And if it's late, most of my teachers actually accept it late and are like, we're only human, and they don't make us lose any points for most of the part, because I've had assignments that I didn't even see like a week later and I did it and they still gave me like 100% for it. They didn't take points off for that. And that is kind of like personalized learning, because if we totally forget about like one small assignment, we could turn it in later and still get the same grade. And that kind of prepared us for NTI like that. We definitely did do better in this time because we were more used to it and it was more planned out. That was another reason. But 7th grade has definitely been easier with personalized learning last year because of a lot what MK said when she was saying you need to get it in on time, and that's kind of what inspired it. And yeah, she kind of just had it at the point for me, at least, with what she said.
Well, I agree with that. And because, like, I was thinking that on Google Classroom, there's like a spot where you could like look at all your assignments, kind of like what we had the weekly wine garden, where like if you ever didn't know what you had to do, then you could just look at that. And what you said about how you have all these assignments due by a certain time, but you could do any one of them whenever you want, like until that due date. And I feel like, yeah, that's very similar to what we did last year. And back to like the responsibility that we had to learn because of the freedom, that has definitely helped us a lot, because then we had to start to learn how to work on things ourselves instead of being dependent on like the teachers helping us and asking questions. Even though you should still ask questions, but like you need to learn how to like do it yourself, kind of. I think that helps.
I think that's wonderful. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and just say, like, if you have any just like last words or even advice for the teachers, because you guys are giving them a whole new perspective on this than even just myself can give them, right? Because they're seeing what my actual students feel. So just like even if it's just like, hey, nice to talk to you, see you later, that's fine. And so I'm gonna let you guys each kind of have your last word, last piece of advice for the teachers, and then I'll stop recording.
So I actually do have a little tip for the teachers, because Ms. Weingarten did this. Like, you shouldn't, so basically what she did, she wanted us, like, for basically personalized learning is, like, doing stuff yourself, but also using other kids' help, like your friends and stuff. But if you didn't feel comfortable, she would allow you talking to her or asking her a question, but she would sometimes make you go to other kids and ask them questions. But I feel like other teachers should do that, especially if you're doing personalized learning, because I feel like it would also like help them with many things, like becoming friends and becoming more like open towards one another.
I feel like if you're gonna do personalized learning, you should just jump head in, and like, because we kind of eased into it a bit, but I feel like it was way easier in the end. You should just jump in and get it over with, and don't be scared of it, because it really improved a lot. It improved my mood a lot too, because I was just excited to do it because I love the way of learning. And my math teacher kind of also used personalized learning last year, and that was really fun too. And I think that it made the classes way easier and exciting to learn again.
Yeah, I agree with Macy. Don't be hesitant with it. She pretty much said everything that I was gonna say. But yeah.
That is perfect. All right, so we can all wave bye and I'll stop recording. Except for Caitlin, because we can't see her.
Bye.